This is additional information on the makeup of attribute data. First, we will go over the block reference with the 4 embedded attributes. The main attribute is the tag. Let's go to the edit attribute command. That's the main command I use, the ATT edit command. So first is the tag data. Second will be the extrusion part number. Next is the length field. This field is associated with this line. And lastly, it's the part description or remarks. I give that as a general guide when I'm in MetalOp. You don't have to use that, it's just for additional information. Let's go through a quick breakdown. I just double-clicked the field and it's showing the information, additional information, when it's associated with the line. So by default, if you're using my block reference, you have a formula. I'm using fractions, and I have a formula in there. There's another procedure to get this formula in, so I always keep it at plus or minus 0. That way you can always go through and add either whatever dimension you want to add or subtract. So now let's go through, let's copy this block and explode it. So now this is the makeup of the exploded block, which are the individual attributes. So you double click each attribute. Let's quickly go back and look at when you select the block, it's associated with a layer CADDtools. This is the layer that the CADDtools data exchange program will be looking for. But when they're exploded individually, I put them on different layers. This is the CADDtools tag, part number, CADDtools part number, length, CADDtools length, and remarks. That way you can turn on, off layers individually. These 3 layers I have set up in the layer property. See, the CADDtools layer is visible and will print. These other ones are turned off. The length, it's set to where it will turn off or will not print. CADDtools parts and remarks. Now let's quickly take a look at the glass data. This has an additional component. There's your tag, but it has 2 lengths, one for width and one for height, then the glass description, glass type, and additionally remarks. So that is the makeup of the glazing attribute data. Finally, let's take a look at why we would group the block references with the associated line by using the group command. While this operation is not required, it helps us to find the line associated to the block data. Let's take a look at the detail we will use. For example, here's a mullion, captured mullion, SSG mullion. So the captured mullion has 3 pieces of data: the back member, the pressure plate, and the cover. Where an SSG mullion, it's just the back member. So let's go to the basic data ungrouped. So when you have that, it's just one tag block. So you can copy the tag. So that'd be for 2 pieces of data, 3 pieces of data. So one would be the back member. You would change the extrusion to be the pressure plate and the cover. Then, all 3 of those are associated with the one line. And then when you use the group command, you highlight all 4 of them, the 3 tags and the line. So now these items are one item. So when you have an elevation with lots of data in it, it's easy to find out which line you need to change the dimension for, whether it's going to daylight or mullion length. So that's why I showed that as ungrouped. And these are ones I've already made up, grouped, with either one piece of data. That would be like for the SSG mullion, it's just one piece of data. And then the mullion with the pressure plate and cover would be 3 pieces of data. So there's an explanation on grouping. Thank you for looking at CADDtools.com.